Starting and it's live. Hit that button now. Hit this one.
I fell in love with a gangster bitch, a chola chick that'll shank your dick. Bitch from the other side of town. I live in the hills. She from South Central and she got a tattoo on her neck. A lady Guadalupe holding her tits. I met her up at the Del Taco. I said, you hella fine. She said, you El Guapo. She was like, I don't date crackers or actors. Matter of fact, I'm a rapper. I thought she'd never get with me, but she saw me on Cribs, rapping with Mickey. I put the hickey on the titties. Now her cousin Smokey wants to kill me. At the barbecue, I stood out. I was the only woodpecker in the motherfucking crowd. Cracker ass fantastic, that's me. Cracker ass fantastic, dirt nasty.
Woo! That is the final and last song of Bad White Rap Week, but it's a doozy. Cracker Ass Fantastic by Dirt Nasty. I think the song alone ain't great, but the video, when it's accompanied by it, is pretty funny. Jake, what did you feel listening to that song? Good memories? Bad memories?
I mean, it hits home. It's kind of my life. It's how I grew up. No, it's dirt nasty. It is what it is. I think the artist really depicts what he's going for in his name.
What's the line? So I slap boxed her cousin at the Jack in the Box by the Inglewood Forum. Straight got my ass beat.
I'm still hitting them ass cheeks because yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I like the very opening lines, and then I fell in love with a gangsta bitch, a chola chick that'll shank your dick. Reminds me of when I fell in love with Rosa Cardoza.
Yeah, well, and then Rosa Cardoza fell in love with me, so I'm shocked you'd bring something like that up.
I'm saying, for those that don't know that inside joke, Rosa Cardoza worked with me at Domino's, and she would just say, I'm saying, after everything she agreed with.
She was in agreement. She was saying.
Like, so. I'd come back from delivery and be like, it's fucking cold out there. I'm saying. It's my favorite thing.
Team Rosa Cardoza.
Trying to throw blanketed, like, acceptable statements around her, like, man, it's Tuesday. I'm saying.
She likes to agree.
Yeah, I loved when Rosa was saying stuff. I remember she was like 18 and her boyfriend there in high school proposed to her, and like she had a ring and all, and she was like asking me about it, and I was like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah, no thanks.
I'm not going to offer up any thoughts on this. What's tough? All right, so Booback's in the chat, and he goes, Jake, can we agree that cream-filled Long Johns suck? Do you know what that means?
I didn't catch any of the words. Cream-filled Long Johns?
That's all of them. You went 4 for 4.
And well, it means less to me now. No.
Same. I can't agree that they suck, Nick, because I don't know what they are.
So I don't know if we should be doing that.
Oh, they're a donut. They're a donut. Okay. Donut. I was thinking of Long Johns, like the pants filled with cream. That's wild. But that would suck. If you put Long Johns on, they were just creamy. I'm trying to put creamy pants on. That would totally suck. I'd ask you how your day was yesterday, but I was with you for most of it, so I know.
Yeah, we did a lot of it together. I don't know. I think my natural energy has gone from the cream-filled Long John thing. I still don't really know what that was, and I mean, I didn't really get to watch any sports at all, and I think it's taken away. Like, I don't know if there's testosterone missing or what's going on, but yeah, just tough Wednesday. No watching Deportes. A lot of talking about Deportes.
Yeah, you gotta. Well, when did UConn play? We can talk about that.
Yeah, I watched part of that, or I went to check in between doing some different things, and then I saw the score at halftime was 46-20. So I was like, well, am I gonna really? It just crosses the line. Like, am I gonna try to bring this up on my phone while I'm doing something else? Like, no. Like, why am I gonna put in the extra effort when they're not? So still got to dig through those highlights a little bit. Jalen Adams got hurt, which sucks.
Bad hurt
Um,
or like was it brutal? Or is it season ending?
they're doing the MRA. It was one that it looked really bad. I don't necessarily think it looked like ACL. But at first it was just like there was a guy kind of rolling all over his leg, and like he was kind of rolling around too. It was ugly. But he was moving around and stuff. MRI, I think it's a knee sprain or something like that. So, yeah, there's that.
What's the most hurt you ever got during a sporting event?
I banged up my ankle a few times. I had to get crutches once. I think I just sprained it really bad. It's a good story in high school. Well, let's paint a full picture. So me and Danny Farina, good guy.
Iona grad.
Iona man. He Me and him, we went through a phase where we'd play this NASCAR video game before practice or games if we had some time. Of course. And so the game was at my house, which was about 10 minutes away from the school. So we'd go there, we'd play it, and we'd come back. So I think the bus left. It was like a night game. I think the bus left at like 4 or something like that, whatever it was. We're playing big game against Massac, Connecticut. Shout out, Monroe. So we're driving there, and the car hit a wet patch. I forget if it was raining or if it had rained or if it just skidded out or if we'd been playing too much NASCAR, but I really think it was natural elements. But on our way there, we were taking one of those windy roads in Connecticut. So his car like spins out, kind of. It doesn't spin out, but the back slides out and it drives into off the road and was messed up a little bit. I think it was still able to drive, but I don't know. You're kind of shook. You're freaking 16, 17-year-old kids, and like car just did bad things. You're like, wow, this is bad. So then we get to the bus for the game, and we're like, oh, we got a story to tell you guys. Go to the game. Danny on a corner kick, some kid grabbed his marbles, his man stuff, and Danny, who's this like peaceful 140-pound kid, just popped him. Just flat out popped him. Straight punch, instant red card. So now I'm laughing. I'm like, hey, hell of a day, huh, Danny? He's like, yeah, guy shouldn't have grabbed me there. And I was like, all right, fair.
That is so
fair. We start getting beat pretty bad. I think it's like 4-1. They send Poppy Gordo in there up top to mix it up. You got to throw a Hail Mary at some point. So I go in there with that kind of attitude. So I get the ball, and I'm probably 35 yards out. I don't have a strong leg. I really don't. I practice kicking field goals and stuff, but just not a naturally strong leg. So I go up and I try to rip one, 35 yards out. Here we go. Sports Center top 10. And this kid just pokes his foot in there as I'm about to kick it. So I just whack his foot. Like the hardest I've probably kicked another human. And so I started like hopping around and shit. I was like, god damn it, kid. Like I wasn't going to score that anyways. Like just let me have my rip. Now you're the idiot. I had to kick you. Go to a house party that night, Jim. House party. Partying up like, my foot hurts a little bit. Whatever. So stay the night there. Don't drink and drive, kids. And I wake up and doing the groggy teenage hangover, but like you're actually fine because you're a teenager. And then I take one step out of the bed I slept in, and I just fell right over. Right foot was just jacked up. So yeah, wasn't anything like bad to the ankle, but like couldn't walk on it for 4 or 5 days.
That's nice. You think you sprained it?
I forget what it was.
Sprains are more
Contusion's
interesting.
a fun word. I don't know. Banged up my ankle.
Yeah, that's the doctor's. I sprained my ankle like 3 times in hockey. Third time I sprained it, I just said fuck it. I never got so hurt the coaches needed to like come out and check on me like mid game.
Right.
But also I think that's because that was my biggest fear in the world, to be the kid that needed to get checked on. Like I would have crawled back to the bench and looked like an idiot crawling back to the bench rather than stay down and have the coach come out and check. That was my mentality when I was younger.
You think you ever got a concussion?
No, I don't ever remember getting hit in the head hard. I think the worst feeling was I got the wind knocked out of me at center ice. Me and this kid collided. We both didn't see each other. And I remember like being completely bent over, like head between my knees, just slowly gliding to the bench. My bench coach opened the door and I just fell in and I was just couldn't breathe at all. It goes away quick, but that's like in the moment, like, holy shit. Am I gone? Am I dead? I don't know.
Are you?
No, I don't know. Could have been. No one had me on one of those, like, what are those things? Charts? Heartbeat monitor? There's a name.
Like an EKG?
Yeah. No one had me on one of those.
No one had you on an EKG on the hockey sideline when you had your wind knocked out.
So I could have flatlined, but I wasn't hooked up to a machine.
Okay. I ran head first into the goalpost a couple times. I think I might have got one.
You ran head first into the goalpost?
Oh, yeah, I was a goalkeeper, dude.
Oh, okay. That's a different picture.
Yeah. But still.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's an instant jump dive. Yeah, I remember there was one time, like got my bell rung real good. Mom came home, I was sleeping. And that whole like don't sleep if you get a concussion thing. What the hell are you doing? Sleeping.
I'm
sleeping.
Yeah. That's what I want to do.
Good.
Let's go to the sports. New York Knicks news. Kevin Knox will replace Lonzo Ball in the Rising Stars game. Hey. Put him on display. Anthony Davis has the Knicks on equal footing with the Lakers, according to New York Times, which I don't believe. You can believe it if you want, though. Noah Syndergaard, Jake, said one thing he wants to advocate coming into this season is that the Mets, maybe the Nets too, are a damn good team. The Rangers beat the Bruins in a shootout, went 7 rounds. Pretty wild, pretty fun. The Huskies got blown out by Temple, as we talked about, and CCSU is preparing to murder some Saints tonight. They're going to call it the St. Francis Friday Massacre. Blue Devil comes to town, takes your Saints, and murders them.
Devils versus Saints. It's an all-time matchup.
It is an all-time matchup. Did you hear this quote from Syndergaard? I actually put it on the soundboard. I don't know why. It's not anything that special, but
let's hear it.
I want to talk about it.
I think we really made some serious acquisitions this offseason, and these guys can really play some ball. So I think one thing I want to advocate coming into spring training and coming into the season is that we're a damn good baseball team.
So the reason I put this quote on here, I think, is because I read the headline and the quote, one thing I want to advocate coming into the season is that we're a damn good baseball team. And Noah Syndergaard's kind of had an annoying past where he like tries to be funny or he tries to be a bit more of a personality than he actually has. So I initially read it in kind of like a shut up, dude way. But then I listen to the audio and watch it. Totally fine thing to say.
Yeah.
That was all in my head going in. The difference between reading a quote and then actually hearing the tone it was spoken in was a good interview by Noah.
Sorry about your head. Yeah. No, this is This is a big thing. It's kind of we'll talk about it with some of the NBA trades, but it's kind of shocking how many teams and how many sports have gotten away from kind of that attitude of we're a good team, let's go out there and win. um, Seriously, I mean, if you look at all the teams in sports, and that's why football is the most popular, because I think that's the most teams per year that can actually make some noise. I wouldn't say could actually win, because we do see the same teams there a lot. Although, look how quickly the Rams transformed. Look at the Eagles out of nowhere. So, yeah, no, and we've loved what Brody Van GM's done for the Mets. Come and peacock a little bit. See if you could catch some magic.
I think we've missed out on a lot of Brody Van GM stories lately. I heard something. He's been putting out videos of like him in the batting cage and him pitching to people, like doing like baseball stuff. I haven't seen any of it, but I heard it on the radio when I was driving to the city, and I was like, have we missed out on good Brody? He's not on my radar at all.
Yeah, I think it was more so. I think they did a couple silly videos, like when they signed a couple of the guys, Brody was in them. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing little things like that. Which, hey, it's fun.
Yeah.
Better than not doing things like that. But yeah, it's eventually going to matter how the team actually does. And I mean, if he does stick around for a few years, I mean, what does a team look like in 3 years that's been run by an agent? I mean, maybe he's got his P's and Q's covered, and he's got the right people running the minor leagues and stuff. Maybe we'll look in 3 years and be like, oh, the Mets. And if you're a Mets fan, that's kind of been the history of it.
Maybe we'll be like, man, we need to find ourselves the next Brody Van GM.
Oh, yeah, he could be the new trend. Could be the new McVay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe our agent friend Josh Kushnick will be a GM soon.
Some new coach that just got hired. I don't know what team it was. Packers? Like, came out and said, I'm not going to be McVay. It's like, no one said you had to be exactly McVay, dude.
Good.
Just be a good coach.
Your own man. Yeah, win games.
I had something else I wanted to say. UConn got blown out. I don't really care about this game per se, but I just wanted to get, like, I know on your latest episode you had a positive spin on UConn. Is UConn, like, are you done for this as a fan? Like, this season's complete wash, and you're excited about the next couple seasons? Like, have you moved on? Was that what the positive spin was? Or do you still have, like, positive hope that they can do something in the tournament or make something out of this season?
They're pretty much out of the NCAA tournament outside of a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot of boxes that really need to be checked this year. Like, so a step in the positive direction. They've beaten every team they've been more talented than. Like, they just have, and like convincingly. Like, I think against the spread this year, UConn is like 13-10, just because when they play the crappy teams, they just beat the hell out of them, which is a good step. The program actually missed that the past couple of years. They got beat by Yale. I think they might have lost to Northeastern, or that came down to the buzzer. So you take the baby step there. Their record on the road has been terrible. They're like 2-14 on the road the past 2 years, which is like the worst. One of the worst mid-major conference records, or whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, if we still see some road wins, that would be good. They were missing their best player for a little while, Jalen Adams, which, I mean, that's always tough, especially Alterique Gilbert has been out lately. It was arguably their second best player. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I think their past 2 games at Temple, they've gotten blown out. There's still opportunity. There's still some opportunity for some good things, and they've had some young guys playing better of late. Josh Carlton, their big man, he had some. He was the UConn example early in the season. When they played bad teams, he was averaging like 14 and 9. When they were playing good teams, he was averaging like literally like 2 and 1. And it was just like, dude, like, what are you? Are you going to be okay against real teams ever? And so he started to play well against real teams, and he's a big man, which they haven't had in a while. They have a good big man recruit coming in next year.
So you're positive about next year.
So there's still positivity about next year, but that needs to be fueled by some good things this year, which should be able to happen. And this is a tough stretch for them. They've got 4 more kind of tough games coming up, and then they end the year with 4 easy games. So if they could sneak out a couple here and not have the season fully derailed, they could get some momentum into the conference tournament. And then if you win a game or two, they might go to the NIT. I don't know. You can't rule anything out. But, yeah, I mean, not normal UConn expectations.
Cool. I think that's all for Tri-State News. The Rangers had a fun shootout. Seven rounds. Zibby netted one. I was seeing more things. Zibby's the best ever. Best ever that ever was.
Had a friend that was there, Jack Strobel.
Jack, what's up? All right, national news. And
bought a beer for an underage girl. Throw him under the bus.
Whoa.
NBA trade deadline, and the action has been hot. Harrison Barnes traded from Dallas to Sacto. LeBron with the IG post about it. Oh, these hoes ain't loyal. Washington, couple salary dumps, essentially. Markieff Morris to the Pelicans. Otto Porter, fun name, to the Bulls. Rockets with a 3-way trade. They get Nick Stauskas. Cleveland gets a protected first-round pick out of it. A lot of bodies, not a lot of good bodies. No Anthony Davis deal yet. Not a lot of optimism. Thon Maker for Stanley Johnson. Always love a good one-for-one trade. Brady. This was actually really cool. You put this clip up here. There's a good clip of Tom Brady urging Belichick to kick the late field goal to clinch the Super Bowl. And, I mean, I'd say the biggest news of all, besides Bryce Harper meeting with the San Francisco Giants, all horse racing in the UK called off on Thursday due to equine flu breakout.
All horse races called off.
That's tough, man.
Gamblers.
I know. Yeah, it's tough for the gamblers. It's tough if you own a horse. It's tough if you are a horse.
Well, do the horses get sick or are the humans getting sick?
Equine flu makes me think it's the horses.
Yeah, but swine flu would make you think pigs, but it was humans.
Well, you tell me, Big Daddy. You're the one that put it on there.
I don't know. I'm just wondering. There's a picture of them giving a horse a shot. It'd be funny if, like, back in the 30s, they probably didn't care about this and just made a bunch of really sick horses race. It's messed up.
Showed who the strongest horse was.
I'm not a big horse racing fan, but I'm a big horse racing movie fan.
You are a huge horse racing movie fan.
Hidalgo, Seabiscuit, Secretariat, like fantastic movies. I love every movie about horse racing. I don't care about horse racing.
What is equine flu? Highly contagious respiratory disease which can affect horses, donkeys, and mules of any age, sex, or breed. So
the humans aren't getting harmed.
No humans getting harmed. So
that's nice. They really care about those horses.
As said, bad time to own a horse or be a horse or a gambler.
One-way trades are fun. Thon Maker for Stanley Johnson. Just fun to picture them walking past each other and like just nodding like, hey, I'm as good as you.
Just eyeing each other up.
Yeah.
And this was kind of a fun one because it is just two guys that, like, that's all the analysts were like, yeah, these guys both needed change of scenery. It's like, all right, good for you guys. But you always wonder how that goes. If you've played fantasy sports and you've tried to make a trade, you wonder if it goes down like that because you're always scared to trade one person for one person because if the other person does better, you look like an idiot.
Yeah. Well,
so you wonder if NBA GMs are like, hey, so I'm kind of interested in that Thon Maker guy. And you're like, okay, well, we're we're kind of interested in Stanley Johnson. You wonder who's the first to be like, what if we just traded him, huh?
So I think that how it works is they don't have names yet, but one GM reaches out and just says, I need to do a 1-for-1.
Okay.
It's more of a numbers game.
That's interesting too, because you'd like to think with all the technology and Slack out there, why wouldn't GMs do some stuff that's like if you were in an intense fantasy football league, like why wouldn't there be a trade block section where they'd be like, hey, looking to trade Thon Maker for another young player that needs a change of scenery, and then Detroit was like, oh, we got Stanley Johnson.
You don't think that happens? I think that definitely happens.
I think it does, but I think people would laugh at that idea.
Yeah, I think that's for sure how it happens. It was a 3-way trade, which is much more complicated than a 1-for-1.
Oh.
Is this going to mean anything to any team, Jake?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Because every NBA trade that I come across, like Porzingis is huge. So
right.
that's an outlier from what I'm about to say. But every other one, it's kind of just like, you take this, I'll take this. We're both not going to win the championship, so who cares?
NBA has a lot of poop for poop trades to try to clear up some cap and different things. You could see that the Rockets ended up getting 3 guys, and they've been playing guys off the street nowadays. Like literally, I think the Rockets signed some guy that played in like in a pro-am event that was in Houston, and they were just like, "Wow, you played pretty good. You wanna sign up?" So that they got some NBA bodies. Iman Shumpert, Nick Stauskas, Wade Baldwin. Cavs get a pick. The only thing that I think is really important, the Suns and the Heat did a real ugly trade, just poop for poop. That's my deep analysis. I think I talked about it a little bit yesterday, and I didn't go too deep dive on you, but it was kind of my speech before I was giving about the Mets. The Sixers-Clippers trade from yesterday, Tobias Harris essentially for some picks, couple young guys. It's like the Sixers were getting killed. The Sixers traded for easily the best player in the deal, a guy that's averaging 21 points and 8 rebounds. The 76ers arguably have the second best top 4 players on a team in the NBA. You could argue best top 5 or second best top 5 too, which that's how many players on the court. Hot take. And like they were getting killed for it because they were like, well, this guy's a free agent. They're not sure if he's going to sign, and they lose those picks. And it's like, how far away have we gotten from like this team is trying to win now? This is the team that we were mad started tanking in the NBA, and now they put some of their chips in and make a play at it to arguably be the most talented team in the East. And people are just like, oh, no, not a little too much risk for me. And it's like, well, okay, sorry that a team's put themselves in position to be the best team in their conference and go to the NBA Finals. Like, I'm sorry.
You are sorry. You apologize profusely.
I'm sorry about it.
The mic'd up stuff. We talked about this yesterday with baseball, how like they need to mic players up. Because now there's Brady being mic'd up and Belichick, and I love both these clips. Brady, like you said, I don't have the audio for this one, but I remember watching this in live time, and the decision was kick the field goal to just end it, or try to get the 1 yard to like really end it. And Brady's throwing his arms up and talking to Belichick. I remember watching the Super Bowl live time thinking, oh, Brady's like trying to plead his case for the ball. Just give me the ball, get the 1 yard. Like, we got it,
Right.
Turn the mics on, and Brady's like, why don't we just kick the field goal? It's 40 yards. It's over. And Belichick's like, okay, cool. We got it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was cool. And I just thought of this, but if they had missed it and the Rams had done something, like Tom Brady looks like a really bad guy.
I bet that audio doesn't come out then.
Yeah, there's a chance. And yeah, 40-yard field goal. Again, I mentioned my weak leg, and Poppy Gordo's good from 43 right now. But
Did you see the Belichick mic'd up when they won it?
I don't think so.
It's pretty weird. I have it right here because I think it's pretty weird. Okay. This is after they win.
We're champions! We're champions, man! We're champions! All right. Go, champs. We're champs.
I can't decide if that's Belichick putting on an excited act or if he's genuinely been turned into like that little kid. I think it's all an act. I think he's like, okay, how do I act happy that we won the Super Bowl? So he, ha ha ha, we're champs. Ha ha ha, we're champs.
I don't think so. I think Belichick he shows emotion after when if they win the AFC Championship game and if they win the Super Bowl, and I think those are literally the two goals going into the year because one leads to the Super Bowl, and those are the only time he shows emotion, and that's literally everything he works for. So I think it's pretty genuine, and people say when he's like, no, it's all an act when he's in front of the microphone. That mumbling. Think about if mumbling interview Belichick was actually the guy that coached the players.
That'd be cool.
All right, coach, what are we working on in practice today? Well, we're gonna run the ball and we're gonna practice
I just
passing
think
the
it's a
ball.
little funny to just be yelling we're champs. Like our age would be saying let's go, let's fucking go. I think my dad's age would just be like woo, like wooing and like yeah, but just we're champs. We're champs.
Champs. That's the goal.
Made me laugh. And then Edelman comes over with Belichick's granddaughter. He's like, Grandpa, coach, here's your kid. Here's your granddaughter.
There you go.
Weird scene. We're champs. I love Belichick. I don't know if he said it at the parade this year. A couple years ago, they asked him about like what his plans are, and he's like, I got to get going on next year. We got a month late. We're a month late to planning.
Oh yeah.
We're a month behind the planning schedule for next year. I love that. It's a good line.
There's some good coach stories that leak out about any coach, but Belichick's got him too. They said that like it's year round. They said there's 1 year that they like. I think he said like, all right guys, let's come in this Sunday, and they go, it's Mother's Day, and he's like, oh. So yeah, football guy stuff, but yeah, he's the best.
You don't want to talk about KD in the media at all?
I do a little bit. So I read the quotes, and I mean, I actually don't hate it. Like he's, he called out one guy way too much from the Athletic, but I'd have to know more about the environment. But he's like, yeah, this guy writes an article for the Athletic, it gets a bunch of clicks, and it sounds like it's from my point of view, and it's not. And like you guys come in here we just won a basketball game, 141 to 108 or whatever it is, and then you guys come in here asking about free agency. Like that is on the media, Like it's not like Kevin Durant goes up there and he's like, "Hey, let's talk about my free agency or let's talk about the offseason." Like it's the media coming in, which I don't know. It's a little touch and go for me. Like I
think his gripes are fair, but the way he goes around it suck and is bad.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just him.
Like he could easily like just deject any dumb questions with a joke or some sort of humor and like deflect them instead of not talking to the media for a week straight. And then when he finally sits down, it just whines. And like his whining is fair because like what they're doing and constantly asking does suck, but there's so many athletes have handled it so many better ways. He's like not the first person to be asked dumb questions over and over and over again. He's probably not the 100th. Like it just comes with being in this territory. So he handles it terribly. I'm sure like it's annoying as hell.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's annoying and it's frustrating. So he ignores them for a week and then he comes back and they do the same stuff. So he kind of went at them. He's trying to get them to not ask those questions. I mean, what else is he supposed to say at this point?
Yeah,
like I'm sure
they're just going to ask him.
He's said the generic stuff multiple times. I don't want to talk about it this season and stuff. So at a certain point, I mean, I'd probably snap and send it back at them a little bit. I mean, he's not going to handle it great because he's a kid that only played basketball his whole life. I've mentioned this. Like some people say that in a bad way. You'll see the people come out with the tweets like, "Hey, just dribble the basketball and collect your millions." And it's like, okay, let's not make them less than humans. But at the same time, in this situation, this guy hasn't interacted with a lot of humans. He spent his life 14 hours a day shooting a basketball until we fed him millions of dollars. So I don't know. It's I for this specific example, I mean, if you want to be mad at Durant, that's fine, but I think you should be equally parts mad at the media, just because, like that. I mean, you did it to yourself.
Well, I'm not mad at anyone. I just think he's handling it poorly.
And then I just tagged you in it on Instagram, but so the Harrison Barnes, excuse me, the Harrison Barnes trade I mentioned, there's something a little unique about it. He got traded mid-game. So, like, he got benched mid-game, which we don't see a lot. Normally, guys that get traded, it's before, after the game, or they sit them out because they intentionally don't want them to get hurt. And LeBron came out with this post, and it's all about, oh, it's best for the franchise. Harrison Barnes had zero idea. And then he comes back and he's like, but I'm not knocking who traded him because it's a business. And, like, he walks all over himself a little bit. And then he talks about, like, basically there's no loyalty. And this has over 5 million views now, which is pretty wild. But people are talking about this like this is kind of gospel. Yet I guess what – and this is me coming back to what I just said about people saying, hey, just dribble the basketball. I mean, in your contract, if you sign a money contract without a no-trade clause, I mean, that's what you've signed into. Like, that is part of the obligation, knowing that you could be traded. And the thing that I hate that's being overlooked right now that I haven't heard anyone say is, so he got traded to Sacramento, who's actually pretty solid this year. Dallas did it essentially to clear some cap space for next year. But Sacramento did this because Harrison Barnes has a big option for next year that he should accept. And Sacramento did that because they thought they weren't going to be able to get any big-time free agents. So Sacramento brought this guy in to essentially value him more than his current team, and yet people are up in arms like, oh, man, no loyalty out here. It's like, hey, this guy's getting put on a better team, a team that wants him. Like, I think we should be celebrating this, not being like, wow, no loyalty, huh? It's like, you could do that with any trade. LeBron, you force trades of your own players. You're currently forcing trades of your own players right now. So what are we doing?
I think what LeBron's upset about is that they traded him and the whole world knew before he knew, and then they're showing his face on TV, and you just look like a dope or feel like you look like a dope, which I agree with totally. Like when they thought they were doing that to Flores, moment. I think good organizations handle that well, and will pull the player aside and say, hey, we're working on this deal. Just want to let you know. That's how the Yankees and the White Sox, they all told that story. Like Todd Frazier, Robertson, like, hey, we're working on a deal. It might happen, blah, blah. To just trade a guy and then he finds out because the Jumbotron's on him and it says just traded, and now you have his reaction on camera. That's fucked up. So I do agree with LeBron on that aspect. But, yeah, you're going to get traded and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, and it's learned to feel in game. But
Paul Pierce said that Barnes knew he was knew it was about to happen, but and was asked if he wanted to play, and Barnes said he wanted to play. So LeBron's thing is completely null and void then.
Yeah, I mean, the news broke in the fourth quarter, and he chose to remain on the bench and support his soon-to-be former teammate. Like, this is supposed to be like a nice story. Like, I didn't have to play in this game, and I did. I got traded, and I could leave right now and say sayonara, or at least hide and gather all my stuff in the locker, give some handshakes, and roll out. But no, I'm going to stay and support my team. Like, get out of here, dude. But because LeBron said it, and it's defending the players, it's like, oh, yeah, this is gospel. And it's like, no, almost everything good here should be Harrison Barnes. But because of what you're saying, you've now made it a bad thing.
Well, it goes back into your thing, like not being in touch with reality. You're like, we get treated like we're just part of like the business, blah, blah, and fans should have sympathy for us. Yo, fans work 9 to 5s where they have bosses that treat them like worse and have the deadlines that are worse, and they're not getting paid nearly as much. which I'm not, no knocks there, skill level. But I mean, they just think like, I don't know, I think they forget like everyone has shitty bosses. Everyone
Yeah,
gets fired, gets
you
moved
get
around.
yelled at in an open office, and you still got to work the rest of the day. I mean,
Yeah.
like that's real life for a lot of people. So I don't know. I'm sorry, Bronny. We're not there today.
Let's call it a half. Another late half. First couple weeks we couldn't get to like 30 minutes in the sports. Now we're just filling time.
Time.
Filling time. You got anything for halftime? You just want to keep them moving.
NBA trade deadline is today. We'll see if Davis moves. I'm excited for it. You'll probably just get a mismatch of poop trades, but I don't know. It's always exciting because you do get a little extra NBA drama.
Drama.
I read the news today, oh boy, and though the news was rather sad, but I just had to bad. Well, it's 6 o'clock. Time for the news.
A woman has been arrested for chasing a man through traffic naked after he left the hotel room because she declared she wanted to have a baby and kids, and he said, no, I just wanted the sex. She ran around saying, I loved you. Arrested. The famous Japan shoe sniffer admits that his sexual kicks drove him to steal 70 pairs of used footwear. A man previously charged with molesting a horse is now arrested again for burglary. Step in the right direction. A man's request for a vanity plate denied because his last name is Osman, spelled Assman, and a statue of Satan was captured by the Pakistani government. Thank God. Oh, wrong button. Some stuff here, Jake. Some stuff to talk about.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm interested by your phrasing of man previously charged with molesting a horse, arrested again for burglary. You said that was a step in the right direction?
Yeah.
For the man?
For the man and the horse.
So you think he's descending from worse things he can do to lesser things. So you think molesting a horse is worse than burglary?
Yeah, because that's a crime of like being messed up in the head. Burglary could be a crime of desperation, you know? Good people have been driven to burglary.
It could be.
No good person's been driven to molesting the horse.
Oh, no. Have you looked at the guy?
Yeah, he looks like a fucking horse molester.
Yeah. If you run into Daniel James Bennett, get out of there.
Daniel James Bennett? The kid that the hitchhiker I picked up, last name was Bennett. He was from Kentucky. I wonder if they're related.
Deputies removed a taser, a pair of hairstyling scissors, a pack of razor blades, and a large rubber sex toy with tube attached to it. Again, you could do anything you want in this world.
Yeah, so that's good. He's no longer molesting horses. He's just burglarizing. What's after burglarizing? He's just gonna he's gonna get some parking tickets, and then eventually he's a good citizen.
You think he's on the right path? Okay, you should be this guy's lawyer.
Yeah, Your Honor. Yes, he burglarized this place, but did you hear what he did last week? This is nothing. What did he do last week? He fucked his neighbor's horse. This is better.
It doesn't feel like it, but we're making progress.
Yeah. How about this guy who's like in Japan? I do get off by smelling feet, and yes, that did lead me to steal 70 pairs of used sneakers. Yes, you fucking got me.
Guilty.
He's on trial.
Yeah. It's a theft. This guy's crescendoing upwards. Next, he's gonna bang a horse.
This is his quote on the matter. I did it to get sexual pleasure by sniffing the smell of well-worn shoes, regardless of their owners being men or women. So okay, equal opportunity shoe sniffer here.
Yeah. This is
wonder.
this is theft. This is burglary.
This is a mix of burglary and being a little sick in the head.
Sure. I mean, the motive was being a little sick in the head, but I mean, the illegal act was burglary.
I mean, it just sucks. Like, I love the smell of fresh cut grass.
Right.
Spring comes around. If I'm driving around and I can take the highway or I can take some back roads, I'll take some back roads, drive past some baseball fields with the windows down, get my sniffs in, I can't control that I like the smell of fresh cut grass. That was just nature, nurture, whatever it was. But that's something I like now. This dude likes the smell of gross feet. He's got to deprive himself.
Not girls' feet, just feet, man.
Gross feet. I said gross.
Gross feet. Well, it doesn't say gross feet.
I'm guessing.
Don't label it that way.
I'm guessing he likes the smell. I'm guessing, like, if your foot doesn't smell like foot, he's like, this ain't doing nothing for me.
Well, let's not speak for him. Let's wait till we get him on the show. But yeah, he likes what he likes. You have to find a way to contain that.
If we had him on the show and we had him smell my feet and your feet, would you want to be the one he preferred, or would you want to be the one he didn't prefer? What's the
always want to be the preferred?
Yeah, same.
Always need to be wanted.
Yeah, I don't really get smelly feet. Some people get it like bad.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess I haven't had a bad smelly foot incident in a while. I don't know. Yeah, for me, it was always the goalie gloves, hockey gloves we've talked about. Yeah, I mean the feet have been. I don't know if I've got a good rotation right now or what it is, but
my grandma doesn't wear socks. She's 88 years old, and she had to wear socks because she broke something, and so I had to help put socks on. And she had never worn socks. She had questions about wearing socks. And we're like, you never wear socks, Grams? It's the middle of winter.
Not into it.
No, just your feet don't get cold. No, they've trained them. Just sans socks life for 80 years.
Bless her heart.
Some Jesus shit. How about this next story? This Canadian guy, Jake. His last name is Assman. His name is Dave Assman, but it's pronounced Osman.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I bet. He's from Saskatchewan, and he wants to get a vanity plate. And they're like, we can't give you a vanity plate because your last name's Assman. He's like, it's my last name. I've always had it. I'm not ashamed of it. There's nothing bad about it. Well, it's Assman, though. Then the person who wrote this article about Assman had a fun time because, listen to this. Listen to this. For Assman, his name carries a proud legacy. His great-grandfather, an Assman himself, would help other farmers during hard times. An Assman himself is pretty fun to write.
That's a fun sentence. I'm very happy this person shied away from the Seinfeld joke, which I made last night when we were interviewing someone for Talking Yanks. But Cosmo Kramer, the Ass Man. I mean, that's an all-time joke that so many people are going to appreciate, get a little chuckle, and move on from. And this writer didn't go for it, so I actually appreciate that. I'm a big fan of Hope Schreiber.
His name is Hope?
No, that's the writer. Her name, yeah.
Yes. Well, it could be his name. Would you name your daughter or son Hope?
I think I've only seen the female version of that. I mean, I won't be using it either way, but I think that's only a female name, really.
Probably, yeah. Well, you never know these days. A statue of Satan was captured in Pakistan by the government, so I don't know how the statue of Satan got there, but it's been captured.
Tough day for Satan. I hope that's not symbolic for our CCSU Blue Devils tonight.
Maybe they'll sneak in, and yeah, I hope it's not symbolic. They're gonna murder him, Jake. Don't even worry about it.
I won't even worry about it then.
All right, here's the next segment called I'm going to hit a random button on the soundboard because I don't have a name for the segment yet. I'll hit the drum beat. This segment is call in and leave some voicemails for Friday's show. 908-845-5792. We don't have a theme or anything, Jake, but We haven't had Jomboy and Jake Radio voicemails in a while. My dream is to, in the future, do like free-for-all shows where, the people call in with stories or questions or whatever they want. So
Sure.
it's just a friendly reminder. If you got something you think you want to talk about on the show, call in, leave a voicemail, 908-845-5792. Let's get into the things that everyone really likes.
Bet of the day, it's the bet of the day. Bet of the day, bet of the day.
Jake, he's on a heater. He's 1 for his last 1. Meanwhile, I am 2 for my last 2. We both sit at 12-9, so we're both still over 500. The under hit yesterday, I'm told, barely. I'm told it was shaky. Vegas worked their magic again, but so did Jake. Jake, you're now 2-1 on the week. A win here locks up the no accent bet.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm still planning on having a winning week. So, yeah, my Huskies. I thought it was going to be a low-scoring match. Luckily, it was just a low-scoring match for them. They only scored 63 points. There was a 3-point shot at the end to get it. It did not happen.
Big kudos for me for agreeing with you, because a lot of people thought I was going to disagree just because you're about to be bad. You're lost 2 in a row. Everyone was like, Jake's going cold. He's a streaky good dude. Smart play would be to disagree with him, Jimmy. But I read past that. So really, really good job by me.
Yeah, that is a really, really good job by you. I've got a few options. I got a little. All right, I've already had one flip-flop in my head, which is a little scary. Let's go to the pros, Jim. Let's go to the Professional Basketball League. And let's go to the Indiana Pacers. They're playing the Clippers tonight, Jim.
Who's home?
The Pacers are home.
Okay.
So, I mean, do you want logic? Where are you at right now? Let's you walk us through your head now that you kind of need space and time to operate.
All right. Next thing I need to know is the spread.
So the Pacers are favored by 6 points.
Okay. And the Pacers are at home. I mean, I gotta do some research.
Jim, I'm going to be able to convince you on this so easily. So the Clippers are the team that traded Tobias Harris.
Tobias Harris.
So the Clippers team as a whole knows that they're. I mean, he was basically their best player. They know that they're kind of punting for the rest of this season. There's a youth move, so it is a lot of young guys now. So I mean, they've got that going for them. The young guys normally bring it, but they just trade their best player. It's right before the deadline. Guys are probably nervous they're going to get traded too. Indiana, now they had their best player Victor Oladipo hurt a couple weeks back. You remember that, but they've still been playing okay. But Jimmy, the most deciding factor, because I think the Clippers getting rid of Tobias Harris is big. But if you'll remember, the Pacers just killed the Lakers. They gave them that 40-plus point loss, which was historic. And those Indiana vicious fans basically scared LeBron's teammates out of the gym talking about how they were going to beat him. So I think our Pacers are hot. Their fans are hotter. And the Clippers are coming in just losing their best player. I think this is free money.
The Clippers lost to the Lakers 123-120. The Pacers beat the Lakers 1,000,000-1.
Right.
So you're on the Pacers.
Pacers, baby.
By 6.
By 6 or more points.
At home.
At home.
I'm with you.
Wow.
That is going to be the biggest pause between buttons now to make sure I hit the right one.
Yeah. Did you hit it?
Jake is stupid, but he's smart.
Okay, I didn't hear it on my end.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't come through on the YouTube chat
Okay.
because they only do one audio at a time. But so we're taking the Pacers. I'm filling out the sheet here. I should let people see this sheet. I could give people access to it.
Sure.
We're taking the Pacers. Would anyone want access to your past betting sheet? Is that a weird thought? Okay. So we're taking the favorite. Last time you took the favorite, you lost.
Okay.
So, wow.
Getting bucking here. Bucking trends.
All right. There we go. It's locked in, Jake. It's locked in the spreadsheet. Already says the people need it. Yeah, I'll give people the sheet. It's also got the songs on here that I use. So you will be able to know what song is coming up. And that might ruin things for you if you like the songs being a surprise. But I don't think anyone does that. You know what the theme is next week for Songs, Jake?
What's that?
Songs with girls' names in the title.
Okay.
Do you have a quick request that pops to your head? Is there one that jumps to your head right away?
Sweet Melissa.
I don't know that song, but
Yeah, you do.
well, I couldn't figure it out from that. Sweet Melissa. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, the horns aren't in there. You know Sweet Melissa.
Who sings it?
What is it? Allman Brothers? Doobie Brothers? Some other brothers?
One of them hippie jam bands.
Yeah, the kind
The
of music
Allman
I was
Brothers.
raised on.
The Allman Brothers. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know it by name or lyrics. Maybe if I heard it, I'd know it. But I was never a net Fish, Allman Brothers, all those bands. Dead.
I think you're making a pretty big leap from Fish to Allman Brothers.
Well, I'm just thinking of like jam bands.
Those are pretty good noises.
If you're not singing words, I mean, oh, Jake, you know what we didn't do that we could do real quick?
Sure. Yeah, we need to. I thought this was going to be our big close.
Now it is. The one and done Jomboy and Jake Fantasy Golf Tournament Challenge has moved on to the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am.
Another sloppy tournament. Pro-Am.
The picks are in. I made my pick 30 seconds before we went live.
Wow.
Because I forgot to make my pick because yesterday was a crazy day for Jake and I. And I'm feeling rather confident in my pick.
Did you do any research or did you just let it rip?
Just let it rip.
Wow. So excited for this.
I just pulled up the sheet and picked two names. No idea why or how. My top pick, Jake, is a guy that you've already used. Brant Snedeker.
Snedeker. Vanderbilt.
My backup pick is Matt the Gooch Cooch.
That's your backup. Yeah, backup shouldn't matter, but hey, you never know. I like that.
So the picks are not in from everyone else. I think you're still time, so hurry up and do it. It starts at 11 a.m. Eastern. So no, by the time you listen to this,
by the time this is uploaded and you listen to the end of the episode, it'll be too late. If you're one of those fast forward people, though,
I can tweet it out. I can tweet it out right now. I'll just say, get your picks in.
Get your picks in. Get your picks in.
So who'd you go with?
I went with a man from your part of the world, Jimmy.
That's interesting. I lived so many different places. I don't know where you're referencing.
I'm taking an Aussie. I'm taking Adam Scott.
Adam Scott.
Yeah, he played some good golf a couple weeks ago, and he's known for being great at everything except putting. And they were saying that the greens are so tight and small like this week that's actually going to be beneficial to him. That like he's going to be so much better at putting it on the green than his putting that it's actually going to be a leg up for him. So I'm just taking a chance with it. I'm rolling the dice.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Doesn't he have a very beautiful wife? Or is
I
that
wouldn't doubt it.
Adam? Is that
Jason
Jason
Day,
Day?
the one who got ran into by LeBron. If you remember that, they were sitting courtside. She had to go to the hospital.
That was rude of LeBron.
I'm sure Adam Scott does okay. And Jim, I think just putting my final bow tie on everything, and this is I hadn't seen this. My guy Ryan Russillo, who I love, he tweeted this an hour ago. He said, LeBron, who would get rid of any teammate to help his own cause, is mad that Mavs traded Barnes before the game ended. KD, who signs 1 year deals, is mad about free agent speculation. I like both guys, but when did playing in the NBA become this terrible burden for the player? And that's the I think we were the same thing on the LeBron part. KD, I think that really is a good point. Like, you the one who've chosen to sign these 1 year deals to kind of build yourself up and give you flexibility. If you didn't, you wouldn't get these questions. So I think that's a great point.
So now you're mad at him.
I'm a little more mad at him, yeah.
Nice, cool. So fuck KD, fuck LeBron. That's Jomboy and Jake Radio.
KD, fuck KD.
This is Cracker Ass Fantastic. I don't have it up, but we'll get to it. Here we go. Cracker Ass Fantastic ends the show. We'll be back tomorrow with best song in the world ever that ever existed in the entire world.
I fell in love with a gangster bitch, a chola chick that'll shank your dick. Bitch from the other side of town. I live in the hills. She from South Central and
the rare town and
Guadalupe holding her tits. I met her up at the Del Taco. I said, you hella fine. She said, you El Guapo. She was like, I don't date crackers or actors. Matter of fact, I'm a rapper. I thought she'd never get with me, but she saw me on Cribs, rapping with Mickey. I put the hickey on the titties. Now her cousin Smokey wants to kill me at the bar.